Hi guys, good evening and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's video, another Star Wars installment dropped today on Disney Plus in addition to the newest episode of The Mandalorian, which I just covered. You can watch it right here on this channel. It's one of my more recent videos, so you should be able to find it rather easily. I will be discussing what I thought of the latest and second to last episode of the Season 2 finale dropping next Wednesday. That's right, a two-parter season finale, which means 2 episodes instead of 1, both of which are going to consist of the Season 2 finale for Star Wars The Bad Batch. That's right, this episode was the second to last episode of Season 2 with only, well, not second to last, more like third to last. Point is, 2-part Season 2 finale dropping next Wednesday. You don't want to miss it. And this episode was pretty great too. So let me get into before I get into all of that, let me warn you, of course, that beware of spoilers. This is a spoiler-filled review, so if you're not caught up on The Bad Batch by the most recent episode, you don't want to keep watching or listening to this video, as I will be discussing spoilers, plot details, character stuff, all that jazz. That being said, you have been warned. Let's dive right back into it. First and foremost, it was awesome seeing Echo and Gregor and several other clones freeing and liberating their fellow imprisoned clones from the Empire. You know, this totally falls in line with what Echo said he and Rex were doing, which was, you know, putting together an underground network of like clone resistors, I guess, and this means liberating clones who have been taken prisoner by the Empire. So that was an exciting opening sequence there. I really enjoyed seeing the rogue clones free their brothers from the grip of the Empire, and it was a fun, action-packed opener. And then it also had a great segue into catching up with Crosshair, and we thought he was going to escape. I really thought there was a good chance he was going to escape and get off that planet and find the Bad Batch, but no, the Empire was one step ahead of him and knocked him out with the noxious gas. And God, that little scientist is such a creep. And I wonder why he's such a creep. He is voiced by the amazingly talented Jimmy Simpson. A lot of us who know him best as one of the McPoyle brothers from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. God, that show. But anyway, Jimmy Simpson is voicing the character. And of course, he has an amazing level of creepiness that he brings to the voice for the creepy scientist. So it really is a perfect spot-on casting. And you really felt bad for Crosshair in this episode. Yeah, he may have betrayed the Bad Batch, and he's done some pretty bad things, you know, since the show premiered. But, you know, there's also some good qualities about him, too, and he's got some redeeming qualities about him as well. And the fact that he sent them an encrypted message to Echo, who then Echo passed it along to the Bad Batch about how the Empire's coming for Omega, you know, shows that he still cares somewhat about his former squad, even though they may not necessarily care about him as much anymore, or maybe they've got a new idea about him since he seems to be a prisoner of the Empire now. I like how we also cut back to, I think it was Pabu, the planet that the Bad Batch is currently residing on. It seems like some time has passed, maybe a couple weeks or a month or so or something like that. They've rebuilt most of the settlement. You know, they seem to have found themselves with a happy, content life, but of course that happiness is short-lived once Echo shows up and says, oh, guess what? I got this encrypted message from Crosshair. He's a prisoner of the Empire, and me and Rex have been liberating all the other clones who have been taken captive, and they're being taken to some secret off-site world where they're going to be experimented on or some shit like that. I do like that we got a brief detour on Coruscant where we saw the liberated clones regrouping with one another and bringing the Senator up to speed on what's been happening to them, as she is probably trying to make a case for them against the Empire in the Senate, because at this point, the Galactic Senate hasn't dissolved yet. It's still kind of functions like a democracy, even though it isn't. It's like the Senate is there kind of just for show, almost. So it hasn't been disbanded yet. But I'd be worried for that senator if I were her, because she's going to ruffle some feathers if she goes before the Senate and tries to say the Empire's been shipping off clone prisoners to some unknown planet for God knows what. So, but this was a great episode. It touched on a lot of different areas. It checked in with Echo, who had Gregor with him, because you recognize him with that crazy voice almost. You know, that was Gregor. And we got to see the Senator again. We dropped off at Coruscant. We're at that mysterious planet where Crosshair is being held by the creepy scientist. And then, of course, we stopped at Pabu with the Bat, checked in with the Batch and Omega and the residents there. So they covered a lot in this episode, and it was a fairly exciting, very good episode too. You know, this is a pretty big improvement over the previous episode, and the previous episode was just fine, nothing wrong with it, but you can tell which episodes are better than others. And I'm not just talking about ratings, I'm talking about overall in terms of tone and quality of the story. And I am really excited to see what the two-part season 2 finale has in store for us, which drops next week, March 29th on Disney+. That is next Wednesday. We get our two-part season 2 finale. I am really excited and curious to see where it goes from here, as I hope you guys are as well. So what did you think of this episode? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Were you expecting more, expecting less? Let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comments section. Have a wonderful rest of your night. The season 2 finale for Star Wars The Bad Batch drops next week on Disney+. Don't miss it. Have a great rest of your night, everyone. Thanks for watching. And, excuse me, of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.